If your investments aren't making enough, get to Online Trading Academy. If you've tried buying and selling stocks yourself online and haven't done very well, come into Online Trading Academy. Online Trading Academy is the place where professional investors and traders teach people of all ages how to invest online. Stocks, options, futures, forex. You'll learn hands-on on real-time computers, the latest Wall Street techniques with an instructor right by your side. You'll see what the pros do and how they find the right investments in stocks for making money when they go up. You also learn how to make money on stocks when they go down. And there's one more. You learn how to make money on stocks when they just sit there and go sideways. If you have investments that just sit there, Online Trading Academy teaches people how they can rent those stocks out for income. Right. You can rent stocks for income. All you need is the knowledge on how to do it, like the big-name professional investors do. That's what Online Trading Academy teaches you how to do online. At this classroom school, all instructors are certified, currently trade, and profitable. They show you how they find the best investments online every day. Over 500,000 students have experienced the education at Online Trading Academy. Come in for a free half-day class to find out if it's right for you. At this class, you'll see the big mistake all investors make when picking stocks. It's a real eye-opener and will change how you think about investing. If you want to learn how to invest on your own or just want to learn how extra money can be made from home, call now for a pair of tickets to a free half-day class at Online Trading Academy. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. That's 954-668-2510.
Walter Preby. He's new to WSBR Money Talk Radio, but he's not new to the financial planning industry. Stop by his website at PrebyInvestmentPlans.com or email him at walter@PrebyInvestmentPlans.com. Learn about the history behind the Preby name and how to set up a no-cost, no-obligation first appointment with just a few clicks. Call him at 877-PREBY1 or 877-774-3231.
AM 740, 103.9 FM and 96.9 FM. Your complete source for the information you need. Catch Boomers to Seniors with Frank Nemeth, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at noon.
My name is Sue Smith. I'm 38 years old, and I work at a graphic design company. Which is funny, because I couldn't even draw a stick figure when I was a kid. But I met someone who told me, you know what? You can do anything if you really want to. And if the teenage me were here, she'd tell you,
I wouldn't be into drawing and art if it wasn't for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Most kids from my neighborhood don't get into art. They get into trouble. But I was lucky because my big sister showed me early on that I didn't have to be like most people. And to the young me,
that meant a lot. My big sister's name is Sheila, and Sheila is the reason that this 8-year-old grows up to have an amazing job as a graphic designer.
Whether you donate money or time, you're helping Big Brothers Big Sisters help a child, and that can last a lifetime. Start something today at BigBrothersBigSisters.org. Brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Ad Council.
The Money Talk Radio Network is WSBR Boca Raton, W280DU Boca Raton, and W245BC Lauderdale Lakes.
Trudeau and a teacher in brownface at an Arabian Nights party. Reports of several other incidents have emerged, and Trudeau Thursday said he does not remember all of them, but
darkening your face, regardless of the context or the circumstances, is always unacceptable.
The 47-year-old up for re-election next month said in Winnipeg,
what I did, the choices I made, hurt people who thought I was an ally.
Trudeau said it was a dumb thing to do. Brian Clark, ABC News.
The Trump administration is defending its decision to rescind California's ability to set its own auto emission standards.
The EPA on Thursday officially revoked a federal waiver that enabled California to set stricter standards for vehicle emissions. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao.
No state has the authority to opt out of the nation's rules, and no state has the right to impose its policies on everybody else in our whole country.
California vows to fight the decision in court. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News.
President Trump has filed a lawsuit over an attempt from New York prosecutors to obtain his tax returns.
President Trump's legal team said the Manhattan District Attorney's subpoena for 8 years' worth of tax returns raises significant constitutional questions. The president filed a federal lawsuit to address them. The Manhattan DA wants the president's tax returns as part of an investigation into the hush payments to Stormy Daniels, the adult film actress who was alleged a long-denied affair with Donald Trump. Prosecutors are examining whether the Trump Organization falsified documents related to the $130,000 payment. Aaron Katursky, ABC News.
The CDC says at least 530 people in 38 states are facing a severe lung illness, possibly due to vaping. 7 people have died. This is ABC News.
There's nothing like meeting face-to-face, and there's nothing like Zoom to make that happen. Zoom lets you connect and do business across town or around the world. Zoom ties together all of your communication needs into one easy platform for video conferencing, phone calls, group chat, webinars, and your conference rooms. Connect easily from anywhere, your mobile phone, your laptop, or conference room. Zoom is how business gets done. Get your free account at Zoom.com today. Meet happy with Zoom.
At CDW, we get that migrating your business to a hyper-converged infrastructure is challenging.
Like me switching to decaf. Gotta do it, don't want to do it, but gotta do it.
Whoa, slow down, friend. CDW's experts can help you simplify the transition from legacy to hyper-converged infrastructure with Dell Technologies solutions that offer speed and agility.
Do it, do it. Have you done it? Is it done yet? Why isn't it done yet?
IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/DellTech.
Hey, this is Keith Singer of Singer Wealth Management. Do you love making money in the market but hate losing money in the market? Do you like making money but hate paying taxes? What if there was a place you could put your money where when the market went up, you made lots of money, and when it went down, you didn't lose? And you could take money out at any age without paying taxes, and you could have a tax-free...
Educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Hey, this is the Ask the Experts radio show. That means it's 5 o'clock on Thursday for your drive home. And let's see, how do I say this? You know, you have certain shows that you really enjoy doing and some that are just okay. Today's show, I really, really enjoy doing. And you know what? It's perfect for our listeners because we're going to talk elder law, estate planning. We talk guardianship. We talk about everything that has to do with estate planning. And we have gotten so many compliments on our guest, attorney Paul Labiner.
Good afternoon, Steve. Pleasure to be here as always.
People love you. I was telling Paul, I love the way he explains things, how he breaks things down. And let me tell you something, when you hire an estate planning attorney, there's got to be a trust factor there. And you guys go through with the families and the kids, the kinders, and
it's a challenge at times.
Yes.
And you know why? For one very simple reason. Money.
Yes.
Everything that we do, you know, yes, you mentioned estate planning, but it's really all about money and the effective transfer of wealth during lifetime and then also at the time of an individual's demise. So everything that I deal with is all money related.
But a lot of it's also in the future, planning for the future, because we don't know. God forbid tomorrow something could happen to us. And I always, during our show, I bring up Prince. How does a guy who made all that money not have a will? It's with all the managers that he has that no one said, hey, Prince, you got to have a will, buddy.
Well, it's true. And you know, I've said this time and time again, Steve, I need 1% of an individual's time. Most people focus on the accumulation of wealth. Most people focus on their jobs, their families, and I get that. And I understand it, I appreciate it, and I endorse it. Take a small sliver of your time and effort to sit down with me or other competent counsel who can map out a cohesive financial blueprint that I promise you will pay off in spades, not only during your lifetime in terms of the money that you have for yourself and the taxes that you save, but also for your loved ones and your family unit. And that's true regardless of how much money that you have. I know that
we have a president, whether you like him or not, he has all kinds of people experts giving him information so he can make a decision. You know, a lot of people will sit down with just one person and they go by everything they say. I tell you what, and I'm going to give you Paul's number. You should call him tomorrow and make an appointment. I don't care if you have somebody else. Make an appointment, go sit down with him, and just see maybe there's something different. Maybe there's something better. But I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you spend 30 minutes or an hour, whatever will be the best time you've ever. It doesn't cost you anything to come in.
No,
but
Steve,
imagine what you can learn.
Steve, thank you for even mentioning that. You know, I look at myself.
I love you, bro.
Just as you would if you were going in for surgery. If you were going in for surgery, more likely than not, you would like to get another opinion. The same principle applies when you deal with your finances and with your family's wealth. Yes, there are competent attorneys and financial people out there. I'm not the only one. I do believe I'm good at what I do.
You're one of the few, though, who just concentrates on estate planning.
Well, yes and no. I mean, there are other attorneys that...
But they do other areas of law, too.
That's true. My practice is dedicated, solely to wealth management, estate planning, tax planning, probate. So, when you talk about estate planning, that's a
wide range.
It's a broad, wide range. But I welcome the guests. I welcome, the people that are listening to call me, get a second opinion. I have no problem spending my time and effort. More often than not, I will find something to at least have a dialogue about.
You get off on this.
I enjoy this.
Helping people out.
I do enjoy this. Steve, I'm going to be 65 next month.
He looks like he's like 50.
Okay. I'm going to be 65. I do this because I really enjoy it.
I can tell.
I do this because I earnestly want to help people. Do I have the desire to make money? Well, of course I do.
Everybody is.
I'm in business. My daughter was engaged last night. I have a big wedding.
We got to congratulate them.
I have a big wedding. I'm sure I'm going to have to plan. Thank you.
Oh, my God, that's right. It's a daughter. You got to plan a wedding.
So I enjoy the fruits of my labor. But that's not my motivation. My motivation is to help an individual, and everything else falls into place.
It's obvious. And I got to tell you something. You might think that everything is okay in your future. And Paul and I talk about this all the time. My fiance, I don't know who did this, but they did not protect themselves through probate. And it's too late. The person already died. It's in probate. This could have been stopped a long time ago. Instead, monies are going out to attorneys. Hey, listen, I don't blame they're attorneys. That's what they do. Money is going out to another person that it should. I am telling you, you've got to protect yourself. And if you think you're protected, maybe you really aren't.
Well, that's true. One of the topics that we wanted to talk about today is, our trust, or more specifically, irrevocable trust.
Tell everybody first about your firm.
Sure. I'm delighted to say that my practice is really dedicated to assisting families, businesses, in terms of developing a cohesive financial blueprint. What does that mean? That means looking at the tax posture, both income tax as well as potential estate tax, although that's a nominal issue for many, many people today. I look at the transfer of wealth. The transfer of wealth is an important issue. I'll give you an example, and this kind of relates to the topic at hand. My daughter just got engaged last night. I am so excited. I love this young man.
Let me give you his address to send gifts.
I love this young man.
You like the guy? Okay.
I really, he's a prince of a guy, and I am just so blessed to have him in my life. My daughter adores him. They're just a beautiful, beautiful couple. But I'll be honest with you. As much as I like him, At the time, I need to go back and review my documents. Why? Because at the time of my death, as much as I love my daughter, as much as I love her future husband, I want to make sure that my assets transfer efficiently at the time of my death and solely for the benefit of my daughter and her children. Many of my clients have the philosophy, well, when I'm dead, I don't care. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Is that true? They think that way. Wow.
They say it tongue-in-cheek. I don't think they really mean it, Steve. You know.
What about I'm going to be married forever?
Well, unfortunately, that's not necessarily an accurate statement.
I know.
Okay.
So you never know.
Well, you never know. And that's exactly my point. So when I develop a cohesive plan as it relates to, let's say, my daughter, I want to make sure that those assets at the time of my death are there for the benefit of my daughter. If AJ, my soon-to-beloved son-in-law, is part of that equation, God bless him.
Right.
That money's there for them. That money is there for their utilization. But if for some unfortunate set of circumstances, that relationship is not solid, that relationship is not cohesive, that relationship fails, I want to make sure that those
Which is not unusual.
Well, which is unfortunately not unusual. I want to make sure that that money is protected, preserved, and insulated for my loved ones. And if
there's no fighting afterwards,
and there's no fighting,
you're going to eliminate that right now.
That and my documents
is
can
that
do
hard
that.
to do?
Is
it difficult to do because you're
not at all?
Okay.
And most people think, well, I don't have enough money. You know, we talked about this
Right.
time and time again.
Especially when it comes to wills.
Right. This is not about how much money you have. This is about developing a cohesive plan that ensures that your monies transfer to your loved ones, and regardless of what the external factors may be, whether it's a divorce, whether it's creditors, whether it's a second marriage, whether it's poor health, whether it's the inability to manage finances effectively, we have a forum, a developed cohesive blueprint to make sure that those funds are absolutely
And what
preserved.
if someday you get a job that pays you a lot of money? I mean, you might not have been making much money. Things happen. What happens if all of a sudden your income goes way up?
Well, I mean, that's a wonderful problem to
But
have.
some people say, I don't have enough money. But you never know.
Well, that's true. And I will also tell you, from the standpoint of my daughter and that generation, the millennials, I'm not sure that they will have the ability to accumulate wealth to the same extent that our generation did, for example.
You got to explain that one.
Okay, so, I think we were blessed.
Yes.
I think we were blessed at a time that we had the ability to accumulate wealth, the ability to have secure jobs and finances that I'm concerned that the younger generations today do not necessarily have. Now, yes, there are, people that work in Wall Street. Yes, there are people that work in the tech industry that make millions upon millions of dollars. I'm referring to, just from my observation and in my discussions with my contemporaries, that we're concerned that our children may not have the ability to have the same amount of accumulated wealth as we have. So if we develop strategies that when we leave this beautiful earth to ensure that those monies will be there for their future, what more can you ask for? You're developing a nice, cohesive blueprint for you to enjoy during your lifetime, for your children, your grandchildren to enjoy, and try to eliminate as best as possible those external factors that we do have some control over, and we understand what they are, as I said.
You know what the roadblocks are. A lot of people don't know all the things that could
that's
block
true.
them.
It's not only, and even if they do know it, they don't put it in a context of what it means to them personally. So in many respects, and that's a great point, Steve, is that they need an independent, objective advisor, a counselor, who can look at their set of circumstances and say, okay, this is a possible problem that we need to think about. You want to address it or not? This is another possible issue that we need to be sensitized to.
We have a lot of grandparents that listen to the show, and we're going to go to our first break now. And give everybody your phone number, and please write this down. I want you to call Paul this week or next week and listen, come sit down with him. Maybe you aren't on the right path. Maybe you need to hear someone else's advice. Doesn't cost you anything to sit down. Give everybody your phone number.
Sure, I'd be glad to. I'm delighted to see you. Come to my office. We'll have a nice cup of coffee.
He really means that.
I am conveniently located in Boca Raton. Telephone number is 561-998-2362. Again, that's 561-998-2362.
We're going to go to break. We'll be right back with Paul.
The law office of Paul S. Labiner has been providing quality and cost-effective legal advice to professionals, businesses, individuals, and families throughout South Florida, New York, and New Jersey for over 3 decades. Their mission is to provide personalized service which ensures that you, your family, your business, or your assets are safe and protected. Call attorney Paul S. Labiner today, 561-998-2362, and let him begin the creation of a financial blueprint in conformity with your needs, desires, and concerns. It took much effort and hard work for you to enjoy all that you have today, so it only makes sense that you implement strategies to protect and defend it. The law office of Paul S. Labiner, PA, is a reputable law office nestled in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida, that is dedicated to providing you with personalized legal services that meet the specific needs of your family. Attorney Paul S. Labiner designs estate plans that ensure the most effective transfer of wealth, implement policies to mitigate income and estate taxes, and draft wills and trusts to maximize your family's wealth. Call attorney Paul S. Labiner today at 561-998-2362.
We are back here. I love doing this show. We have one of the finest estate planning attorneys. You can tell, you can hear his passion. He's located in Boca Raton, but it doesn't matter whether you're in Broward or Dade. He covers all those areas, and his name is Attorney Paul Labiner, and we are going to talk about irrevocable trust. Explain what that is.
Sure. It's.
I hear how great it is.
Well, it is great. And first, let me explain. When people think of irrevocable, their first reaction is negative. And that's a terrible misconception, because an irrevocable trust, although there is some limitations to it, there are many, many opportunities, number one, to incorporate tremendous amount of flexibility into the document itself. And thankfully, in the state of Florida, under the right set of circumstances, we can actually make changes and amendments to that document. But what is an irrevocable trust? Irrevocable trust, again, using my daughter as an example, and there's many different types of irrevocable trust, but the irrevocable trust that I alluded to earlier in the first part of our program is an actual irrevocable trust that gets established at the time of my death. It's called a testamentary irrevocable trust. So that irrevocable trust is there for the benefit of my daughter. Because it's for the benefit solely of my daughter and her children, my hopefully soon to be grandchildren, if I'm blessed, sometime in the future. A divorce cannot cannot get access to those funds. Creditors cannot get access to those funds. Poor financial management that my daughter might have, because she's a nurse practitioner and finances is not one of her strong suits.
Does this eliminate probate in any way?
It does eliminate probate if incorporated into a revocable trust.
Okay.
So again, it gets a little bit more complicated. But
you don't want to go through probate.
You don't want to go through probate. You don't want to go through probate. But that's the simple part. You want to make sure that your assets are protected. Another example. I love my wife dearly. Mindy, if you're listening, I love you. I love you. But Mindy is not the mother of my children. And God forbid something happens to me, I want to make sure that Mindy is taken care of. And I've made provisions to make sure that Mindy is taken care of. That upon my death, there's a trust, an irrevocable trust, created for her benefit. However, upon her demise, I want to make sure that those assets transfer to my son and my daughter. To
No fighting.
No fighting. Although I love my stepchildren, my primary objective is to make sure that my wife is protected and that my lineal descendants are protected. So there's another trust, another irrevocable trust that's created in my document for the benefit of my beautiful wife, Mindy, to accomplish and secure her well-being, but also make sure that those assets ultimately transfer down to my lineal descendants, my children, my grandchildren, and the like. That's just one simple example.
So you rest easier, too.
Well, I do rest easier. I know that...
Because you know what could happen.
Well, I know very well
You've
that
seen
what could
it.
happen. And there are other ways of incorporating irrevocable trust. I do much work for professionals and business owners and physicians who are concerned about malpractice actions or concerns about lawsuits. Well, an irrevocable trust, if designed appropriately, can also be a beautiful forum to protect and preserve wealth.
Should everybody be a candidate or no?
Not necessarily. Okay, we talked to during the break. We were talking about grandchildren. We were talking about you went to the recital for your grandchild last night. So grandparents are wonderful prospects. I love to talk to grandparents. Why? Because their grandchildren can do no wrong. Talk to them about their children. Well, maybe not.
Right.
But their grandchildren,
right,
flawless. They're perfect. So there are educational trusts. Now, an educational trust is just another form of an irrevocable trust that can be established by grandparents today to ensure and guarantee that there are funds, or at least a part of the funds, necessary to meet the future educational expenses of their grandchildren, whether it's college, whether it's graduate school, whether it's a combination thereof. So that's another form of an irrevocable trust. Many people use irrevocable trust to hold life insurance. At one time, when we had an exemption that was much lower than we have now. Right now, estate taxes, unless you're extremely wealthy, within an estate value in excess of $22 million, which is...
I have that in one of my banks. I stopped counting after.
So it is a limited number of people that qualify for that. But again, the irrevocable trust for life insurance is a way to ensure that asset is not only exempt from income tax, but also exempt from estate tax. So a trust is established to hold that life insurance to ensure that those assets and that cash is available for the named beneficiaries at the time of death of an individual.
I don't know if this is the part you actually take part in, but I told you that my Renee, her daughter, is autistic.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid she passes away. Who's going to take care of her daughter? And her father was going to take care of it. He passed away. It's one of those kind of things, I guess you say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Steve,
and then it's too late.
Well, it is. And Steve, that's a great question. When I'm dealing with special needs, autism, for example.
1 out of 75 kids are born.
My best friend's granddaughter is autistic. So I'm very sensitized. I have many clients who have special needs and special circumstances. Again, an irrevocable trust is a perfect example because you want to make sure that special needs child is taken care of. Not only taken care of from the standpoint of providing the necessary funds, but also taken care of that any entitlements that they may receive from the state of Florida or the state of New York or New Jersey that I'm also licensed with, that those benefits that they receive are not dissipated, are not destroyed, are not eliminated due to a significant transfer of wealth that occurs at the time of an individual's death. So we establish another form of irrevocable trust. We happen to call it a special needs trust, but that special needs trust is just another type of irrevocable trust that we've been talking about all afternoon.
I got to get this in because speaking from experience, there's a lot of parents out there who have a special needs child, especially with autism. And with Renee's daughter, she can't do a lot of things herself.
Understood.
So when she leaves this earth, what happens to her daughter? I'm telling you, if you haven't seen yet, when they turn 18 years old, and do not wait till they turn 18, they need to call you, because I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of work involved with guarantorship.
Guardianship.
Guardianship. There's a lot of work.
And cost.
You do not want your child becoming a ward of the state. And that's kind of what happens if you don't take care of it. And I'm telling you, if your child is autistic, there's so many autistic kids, you should call Paul tomorrow. Don't wait till they turn 18. Call if they're 12, 14. I'm telling you, you are in for a big shock.
Well, that's true. You know, there's another example. You know, and it's not necessarily a pleasant one, but drugs and alcohol for individuals today is an issue. And unfortunately, what you don't want to do is at the time of death, if there is a drug or alcohol problem, want to transfer a significant amount of dollars into the hands of that individual, especially if they're still active in their drug addiction or alcoholism. So this is a perfect example where the irrevocable trust is again an insulated forum and an insulated instrument to preserve and protect those monies and ensure.
Who would think of something like that?
Well, again, you know, that's why, you know, in many respects, I'm the catalyst. I will tell you, and I do this as a matter of course, in every one of the documents that I draft, there's an alcohol and drug abuse provision.
Wow.
Okay, every document. And I take and I explain to my clients that I incorporate this. I have never, and that is the God's honest truth, gotten pushback from any client that I've incorporated those provisions, because in today's day and age, we just never know what the future may be. Not so much for children, but maybe for grandchildren or so forth. So again, another example of where an irrevocable trust comes into play. So irrevocable trusts take different forms, but the beauty of it, the benefit of it, is so instrumental if crafted properly and crafted in such a way that it correlates with the needs and circumstances of the family unit. And every unit and every family unit is different. It's very subjective.
I told you, he's good. He's good. We only have a minute left. Tell everybody why they should meet with you. You now, not just an estate planning attorney, but you.
You know, I hope I express the compassion that I have for the work that I do. You know, I am, you know, I can give you all of the accolades. I can give you my experience. I can tell you everything that I've done. I think the most important thing is that I care.
You can tell.
I care. And that's my primary motivating factor, is that I care. I want to do the next right thing. That's my mantra in my life today. I have the skills, I have the background, I have the experience, I have the gray hairs, even though it doesn't show it very much. And I have the resources to be able to, you know, to really develop that cohesive plan.
I got to tell, I don't even know if I've told Paul this, but we have a lot of attorneys that listen to our show. And I've actually had 2 attorneys who also do estate planning wanting to do a show, and we can only have one, but they both complimented you.
Thank you.
That's nice coming from your peer. I heard your estate planning attorney on there. He's really good. Do you have an opening for me? But that's nice to hear that from your peers.
That is very nice to hear from you.
Listen, the 30 minutes always goes by so fast. Paul will be back with us next month on more Ask the Experts. We're going to go to break now, and we come back. We've got our personal injury show with attorney Shane Farnsworth. We'll be right back.
The office of Paul S. Labiner, PA, is a reputable law office nestled in beautiful Boca Raton, Florida, that is dedicated to providing you with personalized legal services that meet the specific needs of your family. Attorney Paul S. Labiner designs estate. As an experienced personal injury attorney, Shane Farnsworth understands the key to success in your case. You are entitled to compensation for your injuries, medical bills, lost wages, and personal loss. Mr. Farnsworth will go to trial if you are not offered the fair settlement that you deserve. The law offices of Shane M. Farnsworth, VA, has established itself as one of the leading personal injury law firms in the South Florida area. They give all their personal injury clients a promise. If they don't recover monetary damages in your case, you will not pay any attorney's fees. Shane M. Farnsworth, VA, offers a free consultation to evaluate your legal case. If they take your case, they only get paid if they win. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle crash, slip and fall, workplace accident, or through the negligence of someone else, you need attorney Shane Farnsworth fighting on your side. Call now for a free consultation. That's 561-272-8337. You are listening to the Ask the Expert Show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
And we are back. Like I told you, this is the next 30 minutes. We're going to be sort of talking personal injury, but our next guest, who's been with us for months and months now, who I love having on the show, he is a personal injury attorney. His name is Shane Farnsworth. But I got to tell you something. Boy, you see all the tropical storms and the hurricanes? You got to be prepared. And this is another area that Shane covers because it's not necessarily injury, but it's dealing with the insurance company. Shane, I'm so glad you're back.
Yeah, thank you.
And I always ask you what you want to talk about, and he said, you know what? We talked about this in July, but wow.
Yeah, we did it
Hurricanes are really
sort of in the
mind.
middle of the summer, and I thought it would be a good topic to
Great
get people
idea.
ready. And now that we're post-Dorian, which was obviously a very close scare for us, I thought this would be a good topic to revisit.
We're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, October is generally the busiest month, so we're coming up on that pretty soon. So I figured, let's go over this one more time. Hopefully we make it through the rest of the season without one, but in case we do.
I don't think so. I got to tell you, they came out about a month ago and said it's going to be a little bit worse than we thought when we first predicted. And, boy, I tell you what, we had that Cat 5 coming to us. And, boy, there were some people closed on Tuesday, and we never even got hit at all.
Yeah, well, we were pretty lucky because, obviously, the storm didn't have to change track a whole lot, that we could have been the area where that storm
You
sat
were in
over.
the cone longer than we were in Broward.
Yeah, we were. Luckily, I live in the far southern part of the county here, but, through that Tuesday, we
Palm
were
Beach
still
County
in the cone.
was in that cone for a while.
But yeah, we were talking right before we went on the air. It seems like these storms lately, they tend to get bigger and they move slower. So once they're over an area, they tend to sit there rather than move through at a rapid pace. And, that's scary because especially with a Cat 5, having sustained winds for, 24, 36 hours, that's going to do a lot of damage.
We don't know from one week to the other. We have a show in Houston. First thing you said when we came into the studios, look at Houston. They weren't planning on. They are underwater right now.
Yeah, they're getting hit pretty hard, and that wasn't even a hurricane. Yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, with Dorian, it was a Cat 5 at one point, which is super scary. But there could be not even tropical storm force winds that if you have downburst winds or things like that. We have small tornadoes sometimes that come through Florida that can cause damage to your house without it being a hurricane. So we're going to talk a little bit about homeowners insurance and how that applies and, how it applies to hurricanes. But, yeah, there's a lot of ways for the wind or the rain to affect your home.
First of all, I want you to know, and I thought about this for some reason last night, Shane, because I knew you were coming on today. First of all, tell people about your practice. You're a personal injury attorney.
Yeah, usually that's how we describe it. I'm a personal injury attorney, so we do, car accidents, slip and falls, motorcycle accidents, trucking accidents, all those sorts of things. But as part of our practice, we also do insurance claims. And, one of the things that we don't talk about a whole lot is that, people have damage that happens to their house, not even necessarily from a storm. If you have a pipe that bursts or something like that, anything where there's damage to your house and you have to use your homeowner's insurance to try to fix that, you run into a lot of the same issues with homeowners claims that you do when you try to make a claim for an auto accident or a slip and fall. Insurance companies, I always say they make money by collecting premiums, not paying claims. So it's not uncommon for them in this situation, if you have damage to your house, to take positions that either we don't have to pay you or we're not going to pay you what it actually is worth.
It's not just hurricanes, is it?
No, it could be as simple as a rainstorm, and sometimes you get wind-blown rain.
Smoke
fire.
damage.
Fire. I mean, your hot water tank can burst. I've had cases like that. Your refrigerator can leak. Your toilet can leak.
Right.
All kinds of things.
What about somebody getting hurt on your property? Is that a different claim?
That would be that one. Well, I'm a plaintiff's attorney. So if you got hurt on somebody's property, I would represent you on your injury, but that would be against the homeowner's insurance. So in this instance, what we're talking about is when you have damage to your house and dealing with your own insurance
How
company.
about someone breaks into your house?
That's another example, yeah.
So tell everybody about your firm, because this is basically what you do is personal injury, insurance claims. You're not like a family attorney and I've even asked you before, do you handle this? You said, no, I don't handle that, like workers' comp, but you do handle personal injury and claims against insurance companies. So that's your concentration.
That's our concentration. We also do some general civil litigation, but the main concentration of our practice is, personal injury and insurance disputes.
You eat and breathe this.
Yeah, we do it on a daily basis.
So how long have you been in practice for?
I've been practicing since 1998, so we're coming up on 21 years, I guess.
Your office is in Delray, but doesn't matter. You could be in Dade, Broward, or anywhere else in the listening audience.
Yeah, we do cases throughout the state. We've talked about it before. I represent primarily, most of our clients come from Palm Beach or Broward, but we do occasionally get people from Miami-Dade. I have some good business contacts in Central Florida, so I have a fair amount of cases there. I represented people in Jacksonville and Marion County, in the Ocala area. So, we represent people throughout the state. But our office is located in Delray, in downtown Delray Beach. If you know where the new iPic Theater is, we're across the street from there.
You know what I love about your firm, and I'm not saying you would not do this in future, but there's a lot of personal injury firms out there. You see them on buses, you see them on cabs, billboards. You really specialize in servicing your potential clients. And I think that's what's so great about your firm. You don't need to be on a bus to do that.
Yeah, with our business model, it's imperative that we provide great service to our clients. Essentially, a lot of our business comes from referrals from former clients. So we want people to be happy because they're going to tell other people. Those people are going to tell other people. And that's how we've built our business. We do some advertising, obviously.
But it's not,
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
it's more, I'm not going to be on the bus or the billboard.
No, 2 months ago, we had someone write us and say she went with one of those big firms, thinking because they advertised so much that she was going to get the most money. She said she never even met the attorney who was on the commercial.
Yeah, that's a common complaint that we hear. If my firm is essentially myself, and I have 2 support staff, and so if you come in to our office, you're going to meet me for sure. I will sit down with you in that first consultation. I'll go through, what to expect from your case, what it is that we do. And then, once that's done, if you ever have questions and you call my office, I always tell people, if you call me before noon, I will call you back that day. If it's after 3 p.m. or around there, it may be the next day, but we'll get back to you. And my assistant's really good at what she does, and she's able to handle most situations and answer most questions, but I'm always available to my clients if they need to speak to me.
I would say the biggest question is, what's going on in my case? And then it's like a week and a half later, someone gets back with them. That's not the case with your firm.
No, we'll get back to you within a day for sure. Probably the day you call us. There's a good chance your question will be answered when you call. Like I said, if Jane's not able to answer the question, then I'll be there to answer it. And if I'm not available, I'll certainly get back to you, within that day
So
or the
not
next.
only are you a great litigator, but you also service your clients, and that's important.
Like I said, we have to. That's our business model. That's how we've built our business. A lot of our business, the core of it is people that we've represented, done a good job for, and they either refer family members or friends, or if they have, a subsequent case, they come back to us, and that's how we do that's where our business comes from. So that's our business model: treat people correct and do the job right.
Let's get back to insurance claims. What does most homeowners' policies cover?
Your general homeowner's policy will cover the structure of your house. It covers, other structures on the property. For example, if you have a fence, if somebody runs off the road and crashes into your fence, it will cover that. If you have a shed, those types of things. It covers personal belongings, whatever you have in the house, your furniture, your clothes, appliances, things like that. It covers it also covers loss of use. So, for example, if you had a fire or you had your hot water tank breaks and you have a flood in your house, your insurance will pay for you to stay elsewhere while you have that stuff being repaired. So, with your homeowner's insurance, you get to pick your coverage limits, and usually with the homeowner's claims, you have a deductible, and you can choose the deductible. It generally runs between $500 to $1,000.
But the homeowner's insurance is going to cover for hurricane damage.
No, not in Florida. No, in Florida, you have to have windstorm insurance.
Separate.
It's separate from your homeowner's policy. It's a little bit different in that the deductible for the hurricane insurance is 2 to 5% of the insured value of your house, and basically the hurricane deductibles in force whenever there's a hurricane watch or warning within the state of Florida, or a hurricane that's somewhere throughout the state of Florida, and it continues until 72 hours after the watch or warning is discontinued. So, for example, if there was a tropical storm that came through, that wouldn't trigger the windstorm but if you have a hurricane warning or watch, that would.
Do you see a lot of people don't know that, especially people who move here?
Well, it's going to be a shock because the windstorm insurance tends to be significantly more expensive than what people are used to paying, especially if you live in another state. And you're buying it in addition to your regular homeowner's coverage. So if you're moving here from the Midwest, you're not accustomed to having hurricane issues, and all you have is a general homeowner's policy, you're probably going to have some sticker shock when you see your premium here.
We just found out that we just moved. We're renters, and it's very difficult to get renter's insurance during hurricane season, or especially when there's one coming at us. We just learned that.
Well, it's difficult to get insurance if there's a claim that they're expecting is going to come up. They're not going to probably write a policy because the risk is too high. Yeah.
Yes.
So you're going to probably have to wait until after the storm passes and hope you don't get hit. And then at that point, seek the coverage and get the policy.
Okay. So what are some of the steps that people can take before a hurricane, to maybe lessen? Because I'm sure, listen, I still think this is going to be a strong hurricane season. I mean, I just looked out. There was 7 tropical storms out there. Now, none of them are actually coming this way, but it's almost like they're forming now every week.
Yeah, there's a lot to be aware of at this time of the year if you live in Florida. But while we don't have any storms going on, there are some steps you can take to be prepared so that once a storm is on the way, you don't have to be rushing around and acting crazy like all the other people. One of the things that I recommend you do is go around your house inside and outside. Take photos or video or both. Take pictures of your belongings. Take pictures of things. For example, if you have collectibles or jewelry, you want to be able to show that if there's a storm and as a result you suffer damage, what you had before the storm and the condition of that property before the storm.
Great idea. We've got so much more we're going to talk about as regards to storms and other things too. Shane, give everybody your phone number.
Our phone number is 561-272-8337.
And your website, which you can go back and watch not only today's show, but other shows.
Yeah, we have all the Ask the Expert shows that we've done on the website, and you can get there by going to farnsworthlaw.net.
We're going to go to break. When we come back, God, I've got so many questions for you. We will be right back.
As an experienced personal injury attorney, Shane Farnsworth understands the key to success in your case. You are entitled to compensation for your injuries, medical bills, lost wages, and personal loss. Mr. Farnsworth will go to trial if you are not offered the fair settlement that you deserve. The law offices of Shane M. Farnsworth, VA, has established itself as one of the leading personal injury law firms in the South Florida area. They give all their personal injury clients a promise. If they don't recover monetary damages in your case, you will not pay any attorney's fees. Shane M. Farnsworth, VA, offers a free consultation to evaluate your legal case. If they take your case, they only get paid if they win. Whether you've been injured in a motor vehicle crash, slip and fall, workplace accident, or through the negligence of someone else, you need attorney Shane Farnsworth fighting on your side. Call now for a free consultation. That's 561-272-8337.
Wow. Hey, we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. I'm Steve-O. I'm here with our expert in many areas of personal injury law, but today we're talking about insurance claims. Folks, this is not something you want to do yourself to save money. We have attorney Shane Farnsworth. Now, his office is in Delray, but if you're in Broward, if you're in Martin County, actually anywhere in Florida, he can handle your case for you. Shane, tell people how you charge.
Well, in personal injury cases and these homeowners cases, we usually charge with a contingency fee agreement. So we get a percentage of the money we collect. If we don't collect any money, it doesn't cost you anything. Now, one thing with the homeowners insurance claims, if you're making a claim against your own insurance company, it's a first-party claim, and if you have to go to trial and you prevail, you can get attorney's fees. Your company could end up having to pay the attorney's fees.
Now against
you
the
would have to. Yeah, you're litigating against them, but yes. But usually, initially, it would be a contingency fee agreement. But you also may be able to get reimbursed what you pay on that contingency fee if the fees are awarded at the end of the case.
You know, I always tell people, sometimes you want to handle this yourself, thinking you're going to save some money. I am telling you, I don't know of anybody who try to do this themselves that save money. And sometimes the difference in what you can get someone versus them trying to do it themselves. First of all, you're an attorney, okay? You're approaching them as an attorney. Sometimes the attorney's the second choice. You don't want to have to get there, but why you coming at them, when you're sending letters, you're on the phone, you are an attorney, makes a big difference.
Yeah, with the homeowners claims, sometimes what you see, not so much the person trying to do it on their own, but they'll go and sometimes they'll hire a contractor. They will take an assignment of benefits, or they'll hire a public adjuster to do it. And I think I'm obviously biased, but I think
they have
having been to law
to
school, we do a better job of it.
To litigate, they're not litigators. They're not attorneys.
Yeah. For example, I represented a client who was with a contractor. She signed an assignment of benefits, and what they did was they took that case when it had to be litigated to another firm. She wasn't happy. She came to our firm. But yeah, that a public adjuster or a contractor, they're not licensed to practice law, so they're not going to have that sort of leverage in trying to negotiate.
Don't you feel like an attorney gets a little bit more respect when you're approaching an insurance company?
I believe we do. I mean, like I said, I'm biased,
You're
obviously,
an attorney,
but
though.
yeah, I mean, this is what we do all the time. Now, public adjuster or the contractor may do this sort of thing too, but they didn't go to law school. They didn't pass the bar. They haven't been practicing for 20 years. So I'd like to think that I hopefully have more experience and do a better job.
If we don't settle, we're going to contact our attorneys. You are the attorney.
Yeah, like for example, the case I was talking about, that lady ended up, she got out of that because she fired the law firm, but she was supposed to have to pay the contractor, and then she had to pay the attorney when the attorneys got involved as well. When she came to our firm and we took the case over, the way it worked out, she only ended up having to pay us for our work.
How long does it take to process a claim?
They're all different. No case is the same. Some of it depends on the insurance company. Some are more conservative and not willing to pay than others, and it all depends.
We're sitting here talking about hurricanes. Again, this could be smoke damage, fire damage. Someone could break into your house. There's a lot of things that come under what you handle. When should someone contact you?
My recommendation, like we always talk about with the personal injury stuff, it's as soon as the incident happens, because once you hire an attorney, that attorney now acts as a buffer between you and the insurance company. They're not allowed to talk to you without communicating through your attorney. And sometimes when people try to handle things by themselves, or they wait a while to retain counsel, there's times they do or say things that jeopardize or compromise their claim. And having somebody that knows what they're doing right up front is generally the best way to go.
I got to tell you, one time I was at an airport in Denver, and they actually lost my luggage, and I was trying to handle it myself. And I didn't realize until I hired an attorney, they were laughing at me. They didn't, because you could tell the mood changed when they were contacted by an attorney versus me trying to contact them. It just makes all the difference. What I'm telling you is, don't try to do this yourself. This is what you do. You know the things you can tell them, because sometimes you're right. People might say something they shouldn't have said.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. Happens more in the auto accident part of it, but it's not uncommon when somebody will come in, they've already given statements to the insurance companies. Now, sometimes, especially if it's the third-party insurance, the person that injured you in a car accident, so to speak, they'll ask you questions that may sound friendly and innocuous enough, but really they're designed to cast doubt on liability or the types of injuries that you suffered. Yeah, and you may not realize what you're saying. And when we send our letters of representation, we'll ask for any recorded statements. And there's nothing worse than when they send you the copy of that recorded statement, and you see how your client got snookered, and now you have to deal with those issues going forward. Or if they had just contacted you in the first place, I would have told them, you don't have to speak to your third party insurance company. We'll speak to them, and it would have saved the time and trouble of those issues.
And once they retain you, they don't have to talk to the insurance companies anymore.
Generally, no. Sometimes when it's your insurance company, you do have a duty of cooperation. So sometimes, you have to talk to your company, but and generally in a homeowner situation, you're dealing with your own company.
Okay.
But going to the other part of the practice,
with auto accidents.
with the personal injury part of it, whether it's an auto accident or slip and fall, you're going, in a car accident, you're going to have your PIP, which is going to pay your medical. That's your insurance, but you're going to have the third-party claim for your injuries. So you would have to give a PIP statement because that's your company, but the third-party insurance isn't entitled to get a statement from you.
Any laws being changed in the state coming up that have to do with PIP or auto accidents?
I think the one, they changed the law on texting, so you don't want to be driving and texting.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, that one I think, I'm not totally sure. I believe it goes into effect in October.
Okay.
And, it's not uncommon. I'll be driving down the road and, you have that person in front of you.
Comes over in your lane?
Yeah, or to the side, and they do something crazy. I had one today. A guy was on a side street, and I was driving, and clearly he should have been able to see me. He goes to pull out, and I slam on my horn. Well, of course, he's on his phone. And so, yeah, don't be texting and driving.
So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write Shane's phone number down, because I'm telling you, you might go out tonight with friends for dinner and get in an automobile accident. You don't ever expect things to happen, and you're going to go, why didn't I write that number down? Give everybody your phone number.
561-272-8337.
I see Mary over there. She didn't find a pencil right away. Now she's got a pencil. Give it to her again.
561-272-8337. And, of course, you can visit the website, farnsworthlaw.net. And like we were saying earlier, all our previous shows from Ask the Experts are on there, as well as we have video facts, and that has a lot of good information as well. If you go to that tab and click on it, they're short videos, usually minute and a half, but they address issues that are common questions that people have regarding personal injury matters.
Listen, I've been with you all for going on 6 years now here, and I'm telling you, I endorse, if I can say that, I endorse Attorney Farnsworth. Give him a call. Keep his number handy. You never know. Thanks so much for coming in, Shane, and we'll be back next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve-O.